Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you what this is. I made this 20 years ago, at least 20 years ago. And I was in a seafood shop buying stone crabs. My wife and I, we do this thing every year where we, instead of a dozen roses, we do an absurd amount of stone crabs. And if you're watching this, you may remember back, it was probably in the 90s, it must have been the early 90s when roses went up to 50, 60 bucks a dozen. There's some rose shortage. I have no idea why. But she said to me, hey, if you get me $50 worth of roses, there may not be another Valentine's. So how about you just take that money and put it towards the stone crabs? So we started this tradition where I would get her one rose, and then as many stone crabs as we can afford. And this year we got about, 8 pounds, and we couldn't eat them all. That's actually the goal, is to get enough so you cannot eat them all. Then you know that you have enough stone crabs. Anyway, we did that last night, and Valentine's Day we were a day late. But anyway, I thought about making a video of this thing because I've used it for 20 years at least. My family uses it, everybody borrows it, and it's relatively easy to make. It's just a stone crab cracker. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I saw it in a seafood shop. And back then, they would ask you if you wanted the stone crabs cracked or not. And they would run them all through this and give them to you in like a tray, and that way you didn't have to hit them with a hammer or whatever. So I took a picture. Actually, I didn't even take a picture of it. So you can imagine 20 years ago, there were no iPhones or anything. I just kind of memorized how to make it from looking at it. And then I got some starboard, 2 different types of starboard, some aluminum and some stainless steel screws. And I made this. So I don't have a drawing or anything. First, I'm going to show you how it works. We happen to have some leftover stone crabs, right? Because we buy too many. But I'll show you how it works. And then I'll take a tape measure and show you the measurements of everything. So if you are handy and you want to build one of these things, you would totally be able to. It's really easy. And I bet there's $20 worth of material in here. So first, let's go ahead and crack some stone crabs. I'll show you how it works, and then we'll measure it out. Stay tuned. Well, here's how it works. You want to lay a towel down because it does make a little bit of a mess. Not anywhere near as much of a mess as if you were hitting them with a hammer. So let's see, we'll do 2. And let me make sure the camera's in the right spot. Yep, you'll be able to see everything. So it doesn't matter, we'll do one direction and one the other direction, but all you do is lift this up, make sure you can see it all. Yep, you can see it all. Put the knuckle in, and then just carefully press down. And it just crushes it with very little force. Crush, and crush it, and that's it. See how they kind of hold together? So you can lay these all out on a plate for people. Let's do this one this way, just so you see it makes no difference. Crush. And I'll change the angle here so you can see a little better. Crush, crush, crush. And that's all there is to it. So no mess really from this one, but when you do a bunch, you really do make a mess. It does kind of juice out, that's why you want a towel. And then every once in a while, one of them flies across the room. Some chip chunks, so if you have pets, make sure they don't get them. But you got that piece. And we'll pull this apart. You see what an amazing job it does. It just really crushes the shell in a way that you can easily get all the meat out. And you're not beating them with a hammer or squeezing them with a, a cracker. God, I love stone crabs. Anyway, there you go. So that's all the meat from this one in like 30 seconds, not even. So I'm gonna eat this. Oh my goodness. Yep. Some people serve them with mustard sauce. So good. Got some mustard sauce in the fridge. That's a good snack. I'll get some mustard sauce for this one. So the mustard sauce, my mother makes the most unbelievable mustard sauce. This is not it. This is the store mustard sauce, or the seafood place. But my mom makes this mustard sauce, which is really out of control. It's so good. I'll put the recipe down in the notes. But when you're in a pinch, store-bought works just fine. Put a big old gob on there. Oh my God. It's so good. All right, stay tuned, because as soon as I'm done, I'm going to give you a close-up of this thing, and I'll get the tape measure out. I started wearing reading glasses recently, and this is the most annoying thing, is I have a hard time seeing the meat from the shell when it's this close, and I really hate wearing reading glasses. Anyway, you can always just fast forward through this part if you don't want to watch me stuff my face with stone crab. Oh. Yeah, that's good. Okay, let me go get tape measure. We'll measure it up. Oop. Got a little shell there. Realized I need to clean it before I show you the measurements, so I'll just show you how easy this thing is to clean. Just take a little Clorox cleanup and just spray it down. Spray a little up underneath. And that's literally it. Takes care of the fishy smell. And rinse underneath that plate. Gag on the Clorox fumes a bit, but there you have it. Plain. We just store it in the cabinet after it dries, and once I get it dried off here, take it back over there to the table. We'll get a new, actually we don't even need a towel. Go find a tape measure, and I'll show you an up-close view of how I built it. First, let me give you a close-up. This is a 1/2-inch piece of starboard. This is a 2-inch by 1/8-inch piece of aluminum. This is all aluminum stock, right from Home Depot. This is a 2-inch piece. This is a 1-inch piece. It's 1/8 thick. And all I did was cut this one. You can see the years of crab cracking going on. Then I cut the 1-inch stock down into 2 pieces. These 2 pieces are straight, and then these 2 pieces are straight. So you got 4 straight pieces. I'll tell you the measurements of those. And then you have 2 U's. This is the same exact stock. This I just bent into a U. You can see it right here. A big U and a little U. And then I found over the years, this started to bend right here. I needed a hard plate, so I screwed a piece of the same stock, 1/8 by 1-inch aluminum, into the bottom here. These are just stainless steel screws. I actually got them from West Marine, and then I countersunk these to hold this breaker plate in place, and I countersunk these so that it sits flat. These little buttons were actually off the bottom of a fuel tank. You buy a portable fuel tank, it comes with these little buttons, and they have just stuck in place forever. We throw this thing in the dishwasher. Generally, I clean it like I did just then with Clorox. But that's all it is. These are nylock, so they won't back off. There's washers here. I don't know why I didn't put washers here. Probably because I ran out. But this is 1 inch by 1 inch stock. So that's literally it. That's all there is to it. I'm going to just leave it right there and give you some measurements. So the base is 14 inches by 6 1/4 inches. It's not real crucial measurement, right? However big you want the base to be, you could just make it that way. If you had some kind of crab cracking station, you did this all the time, I guess you could just mount it to the table. This piece here, there's 2 of these, and they are 7 1/4 inches long. So these measurements are important because I made this once and I didn't have the geometry just right, and it didn't work properly. So I would do this exact 7 1/4 for your 2 supports this way. These are 4 3/4. Actually, 4 1/2, sorry. So I was measuring to the bottom of this thing. These are 4 1/2. So we have 2 pieces at 7 1/4, 2 pieces at 4 1/2 inches. So that takes care of these 4 pieces. This U is 5 1/4 inches high, right there, 5 1/4. So the length of this is probably, what would that be, 10 1/2? There's about an inch here. So the length of this is about 11 1/2, and then it's just bent into a U. This one is 2 inches high, and it's the same thing. It's bent into a U. Here's a view of the back. So 2 1/2 inches high from here to here, bent into a U. And then this piece down here is 3 1/2, a little better than 3 1/2. Let's see if I can get under there. Yeah, 3 3/4. So this piece right here is 3 3/4 inches. Okay, this bar, the bottom bar, is 9 1/2 inches long. You can see it right there. 9 1/2. And then this top bar is 13 inches. And then you buy the appropriate hardware that'll go all the way through the product. And then I countersunk these, and you can see where I just snipped off the end of the screws so it would sit flat. Because of these feet, or if you put rails here, you wouldn't have to countersink it if you didn't have the right tools. But that's it. That is all there is to it. You can see how it's assembled. Another important measurement would probably be the distance between these holes. So this is 3 1/4 inches from this hole to this hole. 3 1/4 inches, right there. It's a little misleading on the camera, but it is actually 3 1/4. And then down here, these holes, center to center, is 8 inches. Right there, 8 inches center to center. That's it. I can't think of any other measurements that you would need to make this at home. I was editing and it occurred to me you would need some other measurements. So the distance from right here, the middle of this, to the middle of this is 5 inches. Right there, 5 inches middle to middle for your U's. and then the distance from the end of the stock to the first hole is 1/2 inch. It's the same down here, by the way. Your first hole is a 1/2 inch in from the end, and then you just measure in. You know, this was 3 inches, 3 inches center to center, and then this is 8 inches center to center. So you should be able to get all of the measurements. See, 8 inches. You should be able to get all the measurements from this additional. This is really what I forgot. The distance from here to here. The distance in from the end doesn't really matter. You could have a little bit hanging out here and it wouldn't matter. So there you go. Pretty neat. You know, you could probably make this out of a very hard wood if you didn't have access to this starboard material. If you had a very, very hard wood. The nice thing about the starboard is it's never going to collect any bacteria. You can hit it with bleach, it doesn't matter. Wood, in my opinion, would pick up bacteria. But you certainly could make it with wood. In fact, the one that I saw originally 20 years ago was made out of wood. I decided to make it out of this product for those reasons. But anyway, there you have it. Thanks for watching. I hope this inspires you to make this thing. If you like stone crabs, this just really makes it fun, and it's a pretty cool talking piece. You can imagine everybody always has a comment about it. But as always, thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. It really it helps drive views. It helps Google or YouTube to recommend it to people who have similar interests. You know, completely random stuff, and you know, just like sharing what they're doing. So thanks for watching. See ya.